Hello, God bless. It's me, Dick Jr. I'm coming to you today to read 2 Samuel chapter 3. This is kind of lengthy, but it is mostly histories. It's not prophecies. So I'm not going to take a lot of references from here. I'm just going to go ahead and read on through. So that being said, I have already prayed and asked God to help me to speak to you today. And I suggest that any time that you put yourself in the Word of God, that you speak to Him and ask Him to help you to understand it. And He will. That's His promises, not my promises. So, yes, if you seek Him, you will find Him. And that is Scripture. You can put it in Google and it'll tell you what place it says that. But if you seek Him, you will find it. Which means if you don't understand, and you ask Him to help you understand, you see, you just sought Him, you'll find Him, and He'll help you. Why wouldn't He? See what I mean? So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and start reading here. Chapter 3, verse 1. Now there was a long war between the house of Saul and the house of David, and that was because Saul had been killed in war, not by David. Okay? In fact, it grieved David quite a bit that Saul had been killed. And David grew steadily stronger. The house of Saul grew weaker continually because David was anointed of God and was supposed to have the throne. You see what I mean? So this wasn't through deception or through trickery or any of those things. It was just because David's house was supposed to increase and Saul's house was supposed to decrease according to God and what God had said. Okay? The house of Saul grew weaker continually. Sons were born to David at Hebron, and this is going to be a little tough for me because I'm reading these names and my pronunciation is not always as accurate as it should be, but I'm just going to go ahead. Sons were born to David at Hebron, which is where he was staying, like him and all of his closest advisors, I would say. His firstborn was Amnon of Ahinoam the Jezreelitess, and his second, Cheleb, by Abigail, the widow of Nabal, the Carmelite, and the third, Abishalom, the son of Maachan, the daughter of Talmai, the king of Geshur. And this is all stories that are told, or histories that are given in 1 Samuel. I've already read that, not on video yet. I will get around to it. But this is all these people, that as he goes through here, these histories have already been written out, and you would know about many of them if you had read that with me, but unfortunately I didn't read that on video then. So anyway, verse 4, and the fourth Adonijah, the son of Haggith, the fourth Shephatiah, the son of Abital, the sixth Ithream, by David's wife Eglah. These were born to David at Hebron. It came about while there was war between the house of Saul and the house of David that Abner was making himself strong in the house of Saul. Now Saul had a concubine whose name was Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah. And Ishbosheth said to Abner, "Why have you gone into my father's concubine?" Then Abner was very angry over the words of Ishbosheth and said, "I am a dog's head that belongs to Judah. Today I show kindness to the house of Saul your father, to his brothers and to his friends, and have not delivered you into the hands of David. And yet today you charge me with a guilt concerning the woman. May God do so to Abner, and more also, if, as the Lord has sworn to David, I do not accomplish this for him, to transfer the kingdom from the house of Saul, and to establish the throne of David over Israel and over Judah. For Dan from Dan even to Beersheba. And so what they were trying to do is unite all of it under David, because right now Judah and there was a war between Saul's house, and it's basically Judah and Israel, I think. Anyway, this war had been going on for some time, because when Saul died, his son died with him, and actually his son, Saul's son, had been trying to help David, because David, like I said, was anointed of God. So this was all spoke of in 1 Samuel. But so David's messengers, Ishban, okay, to transfer the kingdom. And he could no longer answer Abner a word, because he was afraid of him. Then Abner sent messengers to David in his place, saying, Whose is the land? Make your covenant with me, and behold, my hand shall be with you to bring all Israel over to you. He said, Good, I will make a covenant with you, but I demand one thing of you, namely, you shall not see my face unless you first bring Michal, Saul's daughter, when you come to see me. And I'll read on. So David sent messengers to Ishbosheth, Saul's son, saying, Give me my wife Michal, to whom I was betrothed, for 100 foreskins of the Philistines. Literally. Ishbosheth sent and took her from her husband, from Paltiel, the son of Laish. But her husband went with her, weeping as he went, and following her as far as Bahurim. Then Abner said to him, Go, return. So he returned. Little bit of background, though. Saul took her away from David. She belongs to David, like legally. So she doesn't have a husband, if you go back to what happened, because Saul gave her to David as a wife, and David loved her, and Saul took her away. Verse 17, Now Abner had consultation with the elders of Israel, saying, In times past you were seeking for David to be king over you. Now then do it. For the Lord has spoken of David, saying, By the hand of my servant David I will save my people Israel from the hand of the Philistines and from the hand of all their enemies. And he's reminding them of what was said in 1 Samuel. Abner also spoke in the hearing of Benjamin, and in addition Abner went to speak in the hearing of David in Hebron, all that seemed good to Israel, so that the whole house of Benjamin, then Abner, so the whole house of Benjamin, and to the whole house of Benjamin, Now then Abner and 20 men with him came to David at Hebron, and David made a feast for Abner and the men who were with him. Abner said to David, Let me arise and go and gather all Israel to my lord the king, that they may make a covenant with you, and that you may be king over all that your soul desires. So David sent Abner away, and he went in peace. Okay, and I'm just going to read it on. And behold, the servants of David and Joab came from the raid and brought much spoil with them, but Abner was not with David at Hebron, for he had sent him away, and he had gone in peace. And it says that twice, because the point of this is that David had no beef with Abner once his wife was released, but Joab, Abner had killed Joab's brother in this war that was taking place, in a bad way. I mean, he just hacked him down, hit him in the gut is what he did. Smashed him in the gut so hard that he died. Anyway, when Joab and all the army that was with him arrived, they told Joab, saying, Abner the son of Ner came to the king, and he has sent him away, and he has gone in peace. Again, peace, peace, peace. Then Joab came to the king and said, What have you done? Behold, Abner came to you. Why then have you sent him away, and he is already gone. You know Abner the son of Ner, that he came to deceive you, and to learn of your going out and coming in, and to find out all that you are doing. When Joab came out from David, he sent messengers after Abner, and they brought him back from the well of Sorah. But David did not know it. So this was completely behind the king's back. So this peace, you see what I mean? David was not going back on his word. This was these guys doing their thing. So when Abner returned to Hebron, Joab took him aside into the middle of the gate to speak with him privately, and there he struck him in the belly so that he died on account of the blood of Asher, his brother. So he killed him, Abner, in the same way that Abner killed Joab's brother. You see what I mean? Abner had smashed his brother in the gut so hard that he died. So Joab smashed Abner in the gut so hard that he died. Eye for an eye. May it fall on the head of Joab and all his... Afterward, when David heard of it, after he had smashed his brother, David heard of it. He said, I and my kingdom are innocent before the Lord forever of the blood of Abner, the son of Ner, because David made peace with him and let him go. May it fall on the head of Joab and all his father's house, and may there not fail from the house of Joab one who has discharge, or who is a leper, or who takes hold of a distaff, or who falls by the sword, or who lacks bread. So Joab and Abishai, his brother, killed Abner because he had put their brother Asahel to death in the battle of Gibeon. See? IBC root beer. Then David said, and by the way, since he did kill his brother, there was a right of blood redemption in Jewish law, and so these men were not sinning, by killing this man in this manner, because he had killed his brother. That's how Jewish law worked. Anyway, so I'm going to go on here into 31. And then David said to Joab and to all the people who were with him, tear your clothes and gird on sackcloth and lament before Abner. And the king walked behind the bearer, so they gave him a king's burial. And thus they buried Abner in Hebron. And the king lifted up his voice and wept at the grave of Abner, and all the people wept. The king chanted a lament over Abner and said, should Abner die as a fool dies, your hands were not bound, nor your feet put in fetters, as one falls before the wicked, you have fallen. And all the people wept again over him. And that's because this guy's brother had fallen like that at the hands of the wicked, like he was wicked anyway. But I'm going to go on. And actually, it was because he was pursuing Abner, but Abner was his enemy. See what I mean? So he pursued him and he struck him down. All the wicked had fallen. All the people wept over him. Then all the people came to persuade David to eat bread while it was still day, but David vowed, saying, may God do so to me, and more also, if I taste bread or anything else before the sun goes down. So he was saying, may I die just like Abner if I eat anything today. Now all the people took note of it, and it pleased them, just as everything the king did pleased all the people. Everything that he did in this whole situation, and everything before this whole situation. So all the people and all Israel understood that day that it had not been the will of the king to put Abner the son of Ner to death. And they all understood this was law, but not the king's law. See what I mean? Then the king said to his servants, do you know that a prince and a great man has fallen this day in Israel? I am weak today, though anointed king, and these men, the sons of Zeruiah, are too difficult for me. May the Lord repay the evildoer according to his evil. And he didn't say which side was evil right there, whether it be Abner or it be these men who had killed Abner. for the death of their brother. Okay, that was a very kingly thing to say, though. So that's 2 Samuel chapter 3, and that's all I have. So God bless. Thanks for listening.